and there's some work to do on some of the groups. There's not as much work to do on some of the groups, and then to expand the networking group throughout New Zealand. Why am I involved? Well, I'm a business owner also. I've owned my own retail footwear businesses, 3 stores, interested in 11 other stores around Auckland. Then I got involved in corporate land with a small startup corporate which went from 6 people to 600 people. And for the last 14 years I run my own business, which is Ignite Your Business, helping business owners think differently about their business, helping business owners to make more money. So networking has been a very important part of my business life. I mean, that's the way we do business in New Zealand, isn't it? We do it with people who we get to know, we get to like, to get to trust. We then sample their wares, we buy from them, and then after that we recommend them and refer them to our friends. So everybody's probably seen this little chart here before. It's in the black books. That's the first thing I should check. Does everybody have one of our black books that we've put together for the olive? No? Ross? Yeah? There's a couple here, Adam. We'll get them to you. So this is a little chart that is sitting in the black book, and if I had a whiteboard, I'd be drawing this chart on the wall rather than just presenting it to you. What this chart represents is the vertical axis is about, I've called it here freedom, but it's actually about, let me draw it virtually, it's actually about flexibility or freedom. And then the horizontal line is about systems and processes. And then if we look at that, there's 4 quadrants on the chart. If we take this lowest, the one to the left here, the one that's got no systems and no flexibility or no freedom, then the culture of an organisation that's working down in there, no systems and yet no freedom to make decisions, people who are working in that environment are working in fear. They might have made a decision one time and their boss says to them, oh, you know, what did you do that for? Well, I didn't know not to do that. So they won't make a decision next time. If we go up above the line and we've now got an organisation that's got no systems or low in systems, and everybody's got the flexibility and freedom to make any decision they want, we then have an organisation whose culture is really one of chaos. And these are the organisations that you go in and you'll get one level of service one time. The next time you go in there, you'll get a completely different level of service. Has anybody ever worked with the Auckland City Council? Don't go there. Mobile phone companies, yeah. We can think of those companies, can't we? That you get a different level of service. They don't have the systems in place, but everybody's free to do whatever they like. Then if we move across in here, we're moving out into companies that have got lots and lots of systems, organisations with lots of systems, and no matter what it is, you don't do anything but the system. And when we walk into those organisations, we might hear things like, oh no, we know you're the customer, but that's not the way that we do it around here. So you hear those sorts of stories. And the people who are living in and working in that environment are really constricted in what they can do and how they can put their personality across and how they can think about customer first. And they're really working in what I've called the jail environment. And when we look at this chart in the one box left, we've got one box which is high on systems and processes, but has also got the flexibility and freedom to make the choice about what's the best thing to do for the customer. And that's where I'd like us, and that's where I think we are with the networking group. So I was going to ask you to excuse me for introducing systems and processes, but I'm not going to ask you to excuse me. It's important that we have systems and processes. But it's also important that we know that we've got the flexibility and freedom to make a decision on what's best in this particular circumstance. So some of the things that we're introducing to you today even are more systems and processes. And it's all very well when we've got a small group and a small company. When I first joined Compact Computer, there were 6 of us in New Zealand. We didn't have many systems and processes. 12 years later, when I left, there were 600. We had to have systems and processes. So as we're growing, the networking group's growing, unfortunately we have to introduce a few extra bits and pieces, because one of my philosophies is if we've got a trouble spot or we've got a problem, yes, we need to fix the problem, but we also need to look at what caused the problem, what led up to the problem happening, and what can we do, what can we put in place to stop that problem occurring again. So there's a couple of things that I'm going to cover off today, and I'm going to do that hopefully with your input to come up with a resolution about the problems. But we just need to introduce a few more systems, but keep in mind it's not all about just systems, it's that combination of systems and flexibility. Does that make sense to everyone?